for Dave. Oh, pardon this noise. This video here for Dave, who has a Gretsch electromatic lap steel. And what we're going to do is change the bridge to a different bridge. It's a roller bridge. And a roller bridge, because we're going to be adding these palm bender bars that will bend the second and third strings on the guitar, giving you a half step on the third string and a full step on the second string, mimicking a pedal steel, but without the complexity of a pedal steel. And those parts came from Certano, which is a company in France, and they make this custom stuff. And in the end, we'll put on these custom strings Dave got from String Joy here in the southeast U.S. in Nashville. And it'll be tuned up in an open tuning. Currently, it's standard guitar tuning. So, nice little guitar for the money. It's got a single pickup on it back here, a volume and a tone. So, you got to take this cover off here. Let's see if we can get a little better view there. They got to take this cover off the existing bridge, remove the bridge. The new bridge is a string through design, and the existing design is a string through the body design. This is a top mount, I guess is a better word for this. Top mount bridge. There's some metal hardware here that's going to have to come out so this metal bridge can sit flush. Holes will be drilled, and Dave's life will never be the same. Alrighty, well, we're back. I figured out, I put a piece of painter's tape here to protect the finish. Using a small Allen head driver. It just fits in the hole. I can wiggle it a little and get some flush cut dikes underneath. Diagonal cutters, for those of you who are wondering what a dike is. And I'm able to easily just wiggle the thing a little bit and get the dikes under them. Flush cut. Very, the blade is just flush to the surface. So I've got a nice little angle to extract these little ferrules. And life is good. And let's see. So the ferrule's extracted. To make the call whether or not to plug the holes. Should Mr. Dave ever decide to go back to original configuration, maybe I'll leave those holes unplugged. There's ferrules on the back as well. I will leave those in place. Only removing the front surface one so the bridge will mount flush. At this point, I don't see the need to fill any holes. The new holes are far enough away from any existing holes. So what I'm doing now is I'll be lining up. I think I'll use painter's tape and set my dimensions here. The edges of the where the bridge is going. So this does the north-south orientation. And then my location for the east and west, I have to eyeball. I could measure it, I suppose. I will measure it after I eyeball it. confirm those are equidistant from the nut. We're in the ballpark, playing ball. All right, next up, I got to size the drill for the screws that will hold the new bridge in place. Oh look, they came with a little template even. Which I don't quite understand. Oh, well. I mean, it lines up where it should, but I don't see any screw holes or anything on it. So the template wasn't really that helpful. Other than to locate the position of the bridge, just not where to put the screws. So how long are these screws? They are long, but not too long. They're longer than the screws that were used before. And they fit into the holes a little larger than the screws that were used before too. So I will drill accordingly. That might be good. All right. So important not to drill too far. A little piece of tape, drill bit, mark the depth. You screw. Tape stuck to my finger. Hey, ready to drill. There's 3 screws holding the bridge on. Oh, actually, mounting the bridge is the easy part. Deciding where to put the bender is going to be the tricky part. I'll have to read the instructions on that one. I know, read the instructions, right? All right, time to mount the new bridge. Emma, what are you making back there in the kitchen? You're famous for that recipe. Did you create that recipe? Is that your baby? Ants on a log?
Nope.
No?
Probably some preschool teacher somewhere.
Ah. So there is a pic of the 3 new holes, which you might be able to see, and also the ground wire. That ground wire right there makes contact with the bridge, which makes contact with all the strings and keeps the instrument from humming. Well, it's supposed to. Anyways. So, screws are going in. And these are countersunk holes. Everything is flush and cute. I do have electric screwdrivers, but I'm putting metal into wood, and the wood, of course, much softer than the metal. I don't want to over torque things and strip out the holes I just drilled. And the holes are sized properly for the screw, as I'm able to put them in by hand without a whole lot of trouble. Got the depth right. And the countersink sits perfectly centered in the bridge. And voila. The only holes you see from the top are the holes for the cover, which may still work with the bender on there. I'm not sure. We'll know later. I think cover is going to be in the way of the bender. Well, the trick with the bender is to line up with the strings north-south. And otherwise, I think the east-west orientation is up to how much room you've got in the guitar. But it will look something along like that, which, of course, you can't see well from your angle. Okay, so there's 2 mounting holes, which I cannot get to without removing the base. So, has to come apart and installed. What we got is instructions, and the instructions say to place it an inch away, but an inch away from what? So what I did was went online and looked at a Certano built guitar, and he's placed this front edge of this piece the same distance away as the gap between the where the strings pass through and the rollers are. So basically, that's how I'm going to approach this, duplicating what he's done. And since that gap is roughly, I'll find something that's that wide. Maybe I'll use a piece of tape. How's that for accuracy? So I will configure a piece of tape to use. I should have a razor blade here somewhere. I'll trim this tape up to the proper width for this application. All right, and we'll place tape adjacent to the bridge, which is at the optimal width, according to David Certano's image online of a Certano built. Now the other thing I got to do is locate this with respect to the strings that we're pulling. And so we're talking right there. And that will help me locate where the screws go, which I will now locate. Yeah, buddy. We're close to done now. So, utilizing the same drill, as these screws are very similar, but they are longer. However, I can utilize the entire setup I had already. So, on we go. Getting close, Dave. Pretty straightforward. This wood feels like mahogany. The sawdust is about the right color for mahogany, but there's so many kinds of mahogany, I don't know what the hell it really is. It's not super light, but it's not super heavy. It's definitely not maple. It's something more along the lines of a mahogany. Anyways, it is time to complete this operation here. So we'll grab the screws and a screwdriver of the proper size. And make life easy. I hope you're playing along at home, installing the screws in yours at this point. That's in there loose. So I can install the other one without a fight. All right, the second one going in. And again, I mentioned the countersunk screws. Those do a lot to locate the parts square and flush to the angle you intended them to be mounted. And that's sturdy as all fuck and positioned properly. The next part of the process is getting these bars back on. And there's the axle. This is all machine stuff that's very precise. There's very little tolerance bullshit. So I've got to get it up. Got it perfectly aligned on that one. And get the next one installed. There's a brass bushing right there that the whole thing rides on, and there's a little plastic spacer on the outside. And so there's a lot of things to line up here, but I'm pretty sure we're there. Look at that, we're in. Then there's a little set screw in the back that you just want to snug up. You don't need to make it super tight, but you want to keep that axle from moving over the course of time. Now comes the decision on height. I suppose I'll put some strings on it, but I didn't want to pre-adjust it. Oh, by the way, that's how it looks. Huh? Look at that. Yeah, buddy. All right, I got to get some strings on it and adjust the height of these bars in its nominal position, and then also the amount of bend that you get when you're pressed down. So there's 2 sets of screws and a little Allen wrench to adjust them. I'm going to set a nominal height right about there on both of them, I think. Dave, this will be something that when you have this, you'll make these adjustments yourself. The other screw that's closer to the bridge is the amount of bend you get, and I think we'll go for a full step on the 2nd string and a half step on the 3rd string. So for now, I'll snug it up. Or not, I'll just snug it up some. Well, all stringed up, set up, ready to go, tuned up in Dave's fancy tuning. G, B, D, F sharp, A, and D. So. So that's that. Happy Peru, Dave.